throw the branding for your brand just out the window. TikTok is a really different platform. I'm sure that you've probably heard it over and over. Simply enough, like if you just bring all of your content over from Facebook and you test it and don't see success, there's probably a reason for it. It's probably not appropriate for TikTok. So that branding that you hold so close to your heart, it does give you the opportunity to kind of put that to the side, maybe take the core pieces that you might want and you go, okay, how can we take some variety tests, go outside of our comfort zone and test some new styles of content? Because that's the stuff that really works on TikTok, both in organic and paid. Throw your branding out the window, find something that works on TikTok.
Is 2023 the year you launch the merch store for your brand? If you're looking for a new revenue line and a way to increase brand loyalty and LTV, you might want to consider it, especially when there's players out there like Printful that make it easy to build your brand's line of merch without any of the operational headaches of inventory management or stock forecasting. Printful's product options run the gamut from socks to hoodies to home decor and everything super high quality with printing options that will look amazing with your brand's design on it. If you've got merch on the mind in 2023, think Printful and go to printful.com/enterprise to start creating today. Because if you recall, I almost reverse body slammed you one time at the office.
Yeah, you almost suplexed me. Came up behind the sneak attack.
Just totally caught you off
Dude, I
guard.
gotcha.
Yeah.
If we're going for sneak attacks, then it's going to become a very dangerous work environment.
Yeah, that's why I never go to the office. And it's all killer, no filler. A little jiu-jitsu talk here, but I'm live with Spencer from Pilothouse's TikTok paid socials team with the TikTok specialization. And I think we're going to dive right into it today because whenever you run on a platform like TikTok that has so much, there's a lot of traffic, a lot of different ways of targeting, doing things. You're always looking for those early wins. You're always looking for those early signals, the reverse canary in the coal mine, I guess, the positive signals that you can scale campaigns and that you can actually build something from what you're testing en masse. So welcome to the podcast and tell me about some of these early win detectors that you look for.
Absolutely. I talk with brands about this all the time, and they talk one about like, hey, is it profitable on TikTok? Let's get that out of the way. Yes, it absolutely is. And then it's a matter of how quickly can we actually find those wins. And it can vary. It can vary absolutely. And we've had brands where after the first month, they've absolutely knocked it out of the park. And there's some where it just takes a bit of time to build up. We're kind of used to that now on Facebook. You kind of build the pixel and then eventually find success in like the efficiency and the scale. And
it's got to be daunting for brands off the start because it's one of these platforms that you can literally do anything, you know, and you literally everybody literally can do it because it just involves your phone in most cases and a few minutes of editing. So I can imagine there's a lot of brand owners like, where do I even start, right? Like with what to do.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be daunting. And one of the 5 points, I got 5 really actionable points that all the brands listening at the moment can, if they're starting on TikTok or if they haven't been implementing these already, it's not too late. You can start them, and it gives you the potential for a quick win. But really, what it does is it sets you up for the long-term success because we can just absolutely crush it after the first 3 weeks, but then we want our partnerships to be going long-term. So we're not just.
It takes time. You got to keep spending. There are a lot of brands that don't knock it out of the park on the very first try. I see it on Twitter all the time. People just talking about like, does TikTok really work for you guys? Like people just not being able to get real traction on it. So I think having that tolerance for and the belief in the strategy of just continually testing to find the things that you can kind of build on, pretty sweet.
Yeah, 100%. And it is also us just like trying to push these marketers who are so conditioned to the Facebook way of viewing their brand and doing the marketing. And, it can't always work. And so people go to Twitter and they go, does this platform really work? And it does. You just need to give it the time. You need to market on it appropriately. And these 5 tips are absolutely going to set you off on the right foot. Eric, are you ready for them?
Number 1, let's go.
Number 1 that you can do right off the bat within your testing is find out how much information within your creative the customer actually wants to hear. TikTok, the attention span's so low. It's people just want to like swipe, swipe, swipe. But there's the balance point between, just putting whatever it is that your product is, the specialty computer fan, in front of people, and is it just going to work to have flashy bulbs all around it and like try to hook people in with some kind of whatever, but does it actually give the amount of information that is needed to convince somebody for that sale and actually like go in to see the product benefits and like the price and actually go through the funnel journey. And this has been a really major test for us that we implement in the first 2-3 weeks, just getting stuff tested initially, and then you can start thinking, okay, is our specialty product, and all of our brands are special in their own little ways. They all got their own little value propositions, but then some of them just need a little more explanation. Just scrolling past, is it going to be enough to just show in front of people? Or do you want to take 20 seconds to have a little bit of a product explainer? Or just incorporate that into a story? Or are you going to be able to go up to a minute and just give people as much information as possible? And that's kind of the test that you want to find, because it's going to set you up to actually get that product on TikTok and then appropriately market to people. And just get that out of the way. Do it.
So to condense that, like what is that? That's basically learning how much information you have to put in what amount of time in order to fully give people an understanding of what your product is.
Yeah, correct.
What do we call it? That's point number one. Okay, cool.
Or is it enough?
And what is the best way? What's the best way to condense? If say you have a product that does require a lot of information, what's the most efficient way to like? I guess it's going to vary brand to brand and niche to niche. But do you have any best practices for encapsulating brands with longer concepts as quickly as possible? Just a matter of montage with text overlay.
Yeah, montage with text overlay would probably work fine. I would probably suggest getting like a personal voice, just somebody to do voiceovers.
Founder story, like.
Yeah, or just like POV, like going around and showing it. And, definitely utilize that to define like the range of how much information you're needing to share. If you think of like a toothbrush, for example, you can just show a toothbrush. People get the toothbrush. Maybe you show how soft the bristles are or whatever. But then if it goes to like an electric toothbrush, then you can film like a wider, like a broader information piece that might take up a full minute, and it just goes through all of the complexities of it and what makes you stand out. And so you can have one that just has, you can have one video that just has just cut. It's a popular video. You can more or less just show the product and make it TikTok-y, make it fit the platform. And then you can take that minute one and test that one out. And then you can have an in-betweener that can range from around 15 to 25 seconds, and take that minute-long video and condense it down to that time frame, and just make it super punchy. Still have some information in there, but not on like any long-form piece. And then from a test like that, if you get it out of the way early, then you can confidently start building that creative for the future.
Very cool. It makes me think, I've just met with Hexclad the other day. They're going to come on the podcast, and they've built into almost all their ad assets this 3D animation of what their product really is, of basically like as if you were a spaceship flying in on a Hexclad crater. And it actually shows, how it's Teflon here and stainless here and how it's patterned and everything. And they said it's been an unlock for them to really explain why their product's different. And so, you can get great 3D animation for not a huge price. So if you've got a product that has a really neat physical differentiator, consider that.
Yeah, 100%. And it goes without saying, we've tested it on our brands, and it does just set you up for success in the future.
Nice. Okay, what's number 2?
Number 2, this one might be a little bit technical, but sometimes marketing is, and it's just setting up a robust blocked words list. The comments on TikTok are a little bit savage, to use the term, because it really is. Like, people just see ads. They're not always the happiest to see the ads, and they'll just start poking at it. They'll start talking smack.
And they'll go dark.
Yeah.
And they'll go dark.
They'll go dark. And TikTok, if they go too dark, will just like cut it right away. But there's a lot of things that people will just be talking smack about your product, or they've tried it before, or whatever it might be. They're way quicker on that trigger to go in and make that comment. And at times it can be pretty daunting. And so setting up this blocked words list, which you can do just right within TikTok Ads Manager, we've downloaded a massive list that we apply to our brands. It gets rid of like a lot of the more typical swear words or just I guess prohibited words that we wouldn't want to have in our comment section. And there's a bit of the balance.
Could we share that? Could we share that with the audience in the show notes as like
I
create a
believe
public
so.
doc of that?
It's going to be a little bit rough to if you want to read through all the words, but we might be able to share that over. And it just gives you a really
Yeah.
nice base. And then from there, just being active in your comment section and seeing typically what these negative comments are about, and not just to kind of go in and be like, no negative comments about the brand. That's not what we're trying to say here. We're just trying to set you up so that you can leave those comments on. Know that confidently there's not going to be anything that is massively defaming about your product, and then allows you a little bit of leeway. And again, this is a little bit of the balance that you need to find early on of allowing comments to be on, because that engagement looks really good on the ads. And then allows a little bit of discourse to go on in the comment section, which kind of comes to like a little underlying section of this point, which is be active in the comments. You can go in, you can reply to comments, pin one to the top that you quite like. Maybe you have cheeky responses that to like really common questions or comments that happen in the comment section. And it really does open up a lot of possibility for a longer term success for that ad. It's something that a lot of brands talk with us about as well, is just the longevity of the creative. And this has been our best way of testing consistently and then finding these golden gooses of creative that will last a substantial amount of time. We have an ad for a brand that has been running for just over 11 months straight, has like over 200K in ads just to one of the many ads that is used in that creative. And it has over 800 comments on it. It's all just through paid. There's no organic play at all. Has a massive amount of engagement that when you come across it, it does pique enough interest that it allows it to maintain like a longer lifespan for that creative, which ultimately it's those short wins. You can find the success, but really we're trying to build on those wins and find that long-term success.
It's something that we used to really emphasize on meta ads when I was back in the gaming industry, actually. And we used to really know that ads on meta as well did a lot better when the comments were, but I'm sure that's the case still today, just because a certain subjection people are more interested in what people have to say. And if you can create good dialogue in there, especially if you can turn someone, if you can take someone who's on the edge, who's like maybe not fully vulgar, but is, and you can actually turn them into, explain the product in a way that they'll turn, like that's probably just perfect marketing.
Absolutely.
Nice. Okay, so first one, we've got product encapsulation. Second, you got to control the comments. What's number 3?
Number 3 is pretty common, I'd say, but worth noting nonetheless, is launching during a high season or sales times. To use an example that we had here at Pilothouse, we onboarded a brand that does well around Mother's Day. And we had an awesome creative to start. We had all of like we were checking off all of our check boxes and then launched during the sales time and found massive success. Over 200K in rev, over a 2 ROAS. It was just doing so well around this time, and it was really well aligned. So it kind of just made sense. And then it continued to at least like have that warm pixel past that sales time, and we can kind of build on it. And it's that black box of marketing, right? Is how like warm the pixel is. It's really kind of tough to understand. And we actually had a perfect test because post this sales time, we had the opportunity to launch a new account with a few new features, which we really like those features. So we launched this new ad account, new pixel, relaunched it, and just could not get it off the ground. We tested. We tried to split the budgets 50-50, tried to have the same strategy, but it was not during that sales time. And it just couldn't get off the ground. So we had to go back to that old ad account that was consistently finding the success.
Interesting. And you had to create another event or wait for another event?
For that
to drive
old,
the.
for that new ad account, we didn't wait for a new event or sales time, and we just tried to get it off the ground, and it became very difficult for us. So we actually just like took the loss on missing out on some of those features, and we just used that first ad account that had that amazingly warm pixel from when we launched during this awesome sales time. So it was a
Oh,
win
got
for
it.
us.
And so you were not on this new on the new campaign that you launched in the old stuff. You were not promoting a specific sale or event, but it still had all the mojo from the sale or event previously.
Yes, yeah.
Pixel mojo. Gotta love it. Okay, what's number 4?
Number 4 is getting somebody in front of the camera. A lot of brands may not have somebody that's perfect for this, but being able to have somebody that is comfortable to get in front of the camera and specifically focus on reaction videos and green screen videos is a really good way that when you're in these early stages and you're trying to find these wins, that you aren't just throwing a bunch of coins in the ocean and hopefully one lands in a seashell. That's not a saying that anyone's ever said ever, by the way, but it'll work.
That's amazing. I love that.
But it'll work. And
So
when
we're
you
the
find
carnival
that,
of the sea.
when you find that beautiful seashell that has that dollar in it, you don't just
As you
want to
do.
put it at the side. You want to have somebody that takes that creative and is able to add to it with green screens and reactions. So you actually build on that creative, and having somebody that you just go, hey, Stuart, this is fantastic. Can you do this? And it's, super quick to record. It's just a matter of getting somebody that's ready to do that and get on camera. So start asking around. It might even be you as the brand owner.
Often is.
A lot of the times it does like come from the heart if it is the brand owner that does it, and we've seen like a ton of success with that. So it may feel uncomfortable at the beginning, but absolutely worth it.
I feel like I've seen Mudwater almost the same ad for a year now. Just one fleet of ads that are just the founder talking about why he made Mudwater, and like it's crazy how prevalent they are on my feed.
Yeah, and they probably just found that style that works for them.
Okay, so what are we calling number 4? What's the title encapsulation of number 4?
Oh boy. To title it, let's go with find your brand influencer. Like find your internal brand influencer.
Okay. Who can churn out the content?
Who can churn out that content?
Okay, cool. Okay, so number 5 in our list of 5, what else can you do to get going?
This one's a bit more like theoretical than anything else, but what a better way to round off an actionable list of 5 than one that's kind of hard to action. And it's just simply throw out the branding for your brand just out the window. TikTok is a really different platform. I'm sure that Eric, you've probably heard it over and over, and some of the brands have probably heard it over and over as well. And simply enough, like if a brand comes to us, and we recommend for any brands that aren't working with us to do this as well, if you just bring all of your content over from Facebook and you test it and don't see success, there's probably a reason for it. It's probably not appropriate for TikTok. So that branding that you hold so close to your heart, it does give you the opportunity to kind of put that to the side, maybe take the core pieces that you might want, and you go, okay, how can we take some variety tests, go outside of our comfort zone, and test some new styles of content? Because that's the stuff that really works on TikTok, both in organic and paid.
Amazing. I love it. Has anyone tested? I brought this up in a team meeting. We're going to test this for an ad for D2C. Essentially, like an animated chat GPT where you're just like, you ask it a question and then the answer comes. Because I feel like people are very likely to read stuff when it's being generated for them in a way rather than it just being on the page. So I feel like you could do some mock chat GPT ads that could do really well.
Totally. Yeah, I could see that doing really well. Maybe get some
bonus,
some mock-up like photo content as well from some of the other AI. See if you can put that in. People love seeing just fresh content, like a different way to view your product and your brand. And if it like matches the organic feel, and it feels like you're not just being like, and here's the product, check it out. The value needs to come from somewhere.
So number 5 is set your brand free on TikTok. Just let it go. Let it go like, where it needs to go. Love it. Love these 5 actionable tips. We'll summarize them in the show notes. And then I just want to take a minute. You were telling me where you are. You're in Austin right now on a adventure jiu-jitsu tour. Tell the audience about that.
I am. It's a bit niche to me. It's a bit of a niche within a niche, in that I'm really enjoying at the moment the lovely Texas city of Austin, an absolutely bustling advertising city. I haven't been able to do too much because I have been busy just doing my my little sport, my little hobby of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's somehow become a really big hub for Jiu-Jitsu at the moment, and there's a lot of welcoming gyms, and I'm looking to kind of step up my game, hopefully at the same time that I'm stepping up my marketing game. And let's just say that I'm hoping that my marketing is going a little bit better than my Jiu-Jitsu, because I'm being absolutely crushed down here.
I was going to say, you're kicking ass on TikTok, but you're getting your ass kicked in these elite jiu-jitsu gyms. You haven't wrestled Joe Rogan yet.
I have not, but if I see him, it's like on site. I'm gonna, just like you did me the last time we saw you at the office. You come up behind me, grab me in the body lock, suplex me. The absolute danger.
Yeah.
I will say with the gym that I'm at, you might really enjoy it, and like for a lot of other brands, on like what it means to kind of like throw your branding out the window, find something that works on TikTok. The gym that I'm going to at the moment, it's called the B Team. They poke fun at themselves constantly, and their content is hilarious. It's very niche, but almost I can, like, while I'm training in my head, I'm like, I'm learning some marketing stuff here. So when I say that I'm practicing my arm bars, I'm really just trying to take notes on how they connect with such a niche little audience. So if you guys want to check them out, they're honestly hilarious.
Way to bring it full circle back to marketing. Hey, if you're a brand, if you're listening to this podcast and you're in Austin, you want to meet up with Pilothouse's TikTok advertising lead for the next 2 weeks after this goes out, he'll be there rolling at the B Team gym. So go for a roll with them or meet up for a coffee or drink if you're in town. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you're not getting the D2C newsletter, you can subscribe for free at directtoconsumer.co. And if you want to learn more about Pilothouse's all-killer, no-filler services, take off to pilothouse.co. I'm Eric Dick, and this has been the D2C Podcast. We'll see you next time.